Interesting. Hello, Amnon.
Hello, hello. I just got free. I'm glad everybody's here, and I'm sorry I joined later. I had another meeting, but I'm here with you. It's lovely to be with you. Marianne, how are you?
Fine.
Very good, very good. We're glad to see everybody, and we had such a lovely graduation and a big celebration thereafter. And we are here to listen to your feedback and share with you some of our impressions. It was a lovely event and a lovely experience altogether. We were really very excited, and we think it was very successful considering all the constraints. But of course, there are things we can do better. And this is why we're here, to listen, to understand, to think together as to how we progress and how we make it. So Ram, you are the manager of the thing, as you have been all along in such a wonderful manner.
Thank you, Amma. So welcome, everybody. It's a pleasure to have you all, to see you all again after the graduation event. The aim of our conversation today is to get your feedback and to listen to you. What do you have to say regarding the project, regarding the graduation event, and talk a little bit about our future plans and how we can make things better for next year. We would also like to listen to your plans and hear about your plans for next year, whether if you would like to, we hopefully want that all of you will keep on collaborating with us in High Teach. Hello, Regina.
Hello.
So we would like to talk a little bit about that. But for start, I would like to listen to hear from each school, how was the project from in the perspective of the students, in the perspective of the teachers. What did they learn? Do you think that this working on the project got them to understand a little bit more about the water situation in Poland and in the world, about the water challenges in the world? How did it relate to the school curricula? So I would like to hear about that first. And you can speak freely, I guess. Is there anybody who would like to start?
Okay, I'll start.
Yes, thank you.
I was surprised because my colleague Dorota and myself, we did nothing about the project. The only thing we did was we picked the kids. We asked the kids who would like to do something, and they did everything by themselves. Because of pandemic, we couldn't really involve other teachers too much. So the kids set up the club, Save Water Club, organized everything. They were so enthusiastic that I had to put curfew on Messenger because they were like midnight and they exchanging ideas. I said 9 p.m. and no more messages. I broke the curfew sometimes, a few times myself. And after the graduation, the final meeting, they are still running the club. They are still posting information on the Instagram, and they are still. Yesterday, Yesterday we still had spring holidays, and one of the girls posted another message. I know that it's still holiday, but I have so many ideas. Could we please meet? So we have the next meeting set on Friday, I think. So it was really a success on my part. Yeah.
I'm so happy to hear that the students are so engaged that they are still working on it and still, come up with ideas and, in the night and text you that they would like to continue. So for me to hear that, it means a lot. It means that they really got into it. It comes that they're really passionate about it. So it's very good. And maybe breaking the curfew from time to time was a good idea, not to stop the passion.
Also, we are
Yes.
together with Rajana from the same school, and also I spoke with some of our teachers, and they offered and add this project, this subject to the curricula on a geography, on a physics. Then it's gonna be in the curricula.
So you
Also.
say that it did fit the curricula and it was linked to the curricula all through the project. Okay, that's great. And how was the process of presenting? We gave it a lot of emphasis. The process of presenting the project, how to, well, it wasn't really standing in front of live audience, but it was live audience just on Zoom. And we gave it a lot of emphasis on how to tell a story and how to present yourself and how to present your ideas. We dedicated whole meetings for that. So how was that for them? Did they really enrich their soft skills, their presenting skills?
I think yes. I think yes. I cannot really agree with my colleague because Dorota said it's the 3 minutes. It's not enough time. I think it was plenty of time to teach them discipline. You know, to present what's essential. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Yes, that's a very important process. I think that's one of the greatest lessons from this project, because that's really a lifelong lesson, you know, because whether if you're in a job interview or, you know, whatever, you need to know how to say whatever you have to say very concise, especially today when everything is, the attention span of people is very short. So that's an important thing to have.
I think they could speaking longer and longer and all the time. And
yes, but we would like to educate them to know how to be concise. Maybe next time they will have 5 minutes, maybe they will have half an hour, but they will know how to make things concise and how to get to the point. You know, because you might have 3 hours and not saying anything. We want them to be able to control themselves, right? So that's an important skill, and I'm very happy to hear that they learned this discipline. And we will continue with it. We're not going to stop. And we are expecting the next year they're going to be even better. We have very high expectations for them. Anything else that you would like to add? No.
Yeah, I'll ask you a question, you know, on the presentation skill. You know, this is, we're talking about what the students gained. How do you think about what the teachers gain? Because we find in Israel specifically that teachers were not that capable of making effective short presentations themselves. So as a result, of course, the students were not capable. And so we felt that by doing this, we're sort of teaching the students, but in fact, we are really training the teachers. The idea is that if we train the teachers, we provide them tools and they will be able to then use the technology, the approach, the skill set, STEM and everything else. These are really, you know, we are talking to the children, but effectively we are really aiming for the teachers because we want to give the teachers the tools to be able to proliferate and continue to use the method, and maybe even further develop it and definitely adopt it to Poland. That could be done by the teachers. And so it's very important that this becomes a learning experience for the teachers. And the very idea of teaching the students and the teachers together is very empowering in our mind. And the question is, you know, how you feel about it, because some teachers like to come to the approach from an authoritative position that they know everything and they're the authority and the source of knowledge, and that's the way they teach. And other teachers are willing to learn with their students together, of course, with more experience, but to be learning together. And so how do you think about that, about the impact it may have had on the teachers?
probably gonna be something awesome, but you know, it's still coronavirus. We are still on a online learning. Then it's impossible for now, I think.
Yes,
Then maybe
right.
next time, and especially we got not enough time. Especially, I'm a gym
Yes,
teacher,
no
Grażyna
doubt.
is English teacher. We take this project. We took this project. We find the kids who want to be in this project, and I think they have something. They create something very very special.
It's a very good point. You're right. And obviously, there was not enough time because of the corona and the latency of the development and the initiation. In fact, I was debating with Professor Koczynski, in the beginning, after January, when you came back after the vacation, and it was so late, and it was getting close to February, and March was graduation. And the question in the air was, should we continue and really launch it and run it this year, or maybe give up and consider next year? We were debating about it, and I was very much for the side of saying, let's keep on going, and whatever, of course, it will not be the same level of research. We don't have the time to do it as deep as we would have liked to, and so forth. But it was important to conclude and to get to the end and to let you have the sense of what happens and what is the experience of graduating together and communicating with the twinning and all that. And I was very pleased with that, although, quite frankly, obviously, we had to give up a little bit on the level of research in STEM and so forth, both in Israel and, of course, overseas everywhere. But my feeling was that it would be worth to pursue it and to get to the end and to see the entire package rather than not to do it. Like, for instance, our partners from India, where the corona was even worse, decided that it was too much for them. They actually had no connection with the school, with the students, so they actually shut it down completely. And they felt that it was useless, and they did not join this year. In fact, they will join next year, but this year, and of course they missed because they didn't participate and they didn't gain anything from the experience. And I think that you had a tremendous exposure by joining, although not everything was perfect and we didn't have time to complete, and we may have had better STEM researchers later, but you have a good concept of the entire program, and I think this is very important. What do you think? Was this a right decision, or should we maybe waited?
Well, I wouldn't like to monopolize the class, the meeting. So it's the last thing I'm going to tell. I strongly believe that the teacher should not be putting knowledge into students' head. Just follow the steps and gently guide them, but really gently. And it is a really, the most difficult thing for me is when I have a project like that, not telling kids, I know better. Okay, we should
Absolutely.
show them,
Right.
You should show them that you strongly believe that what they know is okay. I can just polish the details, but they really know what they're doing. And if we trust in them, believe in guiding them on their path, okay, gently following them, not leading the way all the time. That is the greatest task of the teachers. And I think we succeeded in this project. We succeeded with that. And well, perhaps someone else would like to say something.
Yeah, it's one of our goals. Marianne, what you wanted to say something?
Yes, thank you. First of all, I would like to thank you to Ram, to, of course, Amnon, for really a very beautiful project. And of course, Shlomo, who was our guide also in this subject. So first, and I think that it was a beginning, of course, of our work. And we should continue as long as the subject of water, let's say, that challenges will be active, and I don't think that it will be, we should be more and more active every year, even, I think. So very good beginning, and the second part should be even or better, I hope. So I think that we have a lot of experience now. The role of teachers is also very, very important. It's nice to hear that the curricula are just a bit converted or just changed or just have some elements of the water challenges. It is a very, very good idea. And of course, we should give a chance students to lead their own ideas with a lead control, of course. And I think that it is a time when we should sometimes also to deliver some even new ideas. Not the same for all schools, but some of schools would like probably to make some experiments regarding the water, of course, in general. And it might be a good idea just to provide them and just to give them a hand how to prepare laboratories, for example. The other schools, I think that might just concentrate or some influence on the larger group, just emphasizing in social media and also between schools the importance of the water challenges. So absolutely, I am just ready to participate and to do my best to develop the project Rotary Hands Across Water. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Marianne. This would have never come about without your help, clearly. I'm very glad and thankful for Shlomo for setting up the connection, and mostly for you and for your insight and dedication and leverage, within Poland's Rotary activity and so forth. It takes, someone like yourself and like Dr. Florin from Romania, and this is really very, very crucial. It's very important, and let's talk about it a little bit going forward. You see, we had the ambition of trying to, first of all, show what we did, which we thought was worth viewing, and also to try and have an impact on youth awareness of the challenge, and so that they become aware citizens and can promote the address of water challenges in the world. But this we couldn't do if we tried to do it directly in Poland. Even if Ram and myself would have traveled to Poland, and even if there is no corona, there is a limit to what you can do from the outside, because you cannot come to a foreign country and teach. Of all things, teaching in a different country is very, very sensitive. It has to do with the culture, with the government, with the history, and teaching in Poland should be done by Polish teachers, in the system. And to enter into the system, the only way to do it is with a establishment from Poland. So the role of the Rotary there being, valued citizens, that are recognized in the community and immersed in the community and know people, and specifically Professor Kochinki, who is in the academia and so forth, and everybody else from the Rotary, who are well known and respected. This allows us to really work with the system. Now, it has another advantage, which is very, very crucial. If we were to try to do it from Israel, everywhere in a linear manner where we treat every school and all that, it would have been impossible financially. It's very, very expensive. Whereas if we do it with a local center, such as Marianne can provide and Rotarians can provide. So we use the structure of the Rotary. And then we actually access the schools and we rely on the relevance to the curricula. So that if we next year, when we have more time, we do some experimentation on STEM, but we are actually teaching physics or biology or mathematics, or even for that matter, Polish history, if we are starting to tell a story about the water history in Poland, very, very specific to Poland, but still it is history. So if we develop, or geography, of course, environment. So if we develop all of those courses together with you so that it is relevant. We have some ideas, we know how to connect to the utilities, and we have a lot of experience, so we can help. But if our service is really more of guidance and help, and it has a core in Poland, based on the Rotary and other activities and so forth, and then it can run in Poland, almost by itself, not exactly, we need to be involved and support, but a lot of it can be done by Poland and by you, and then we can proliferate and make it very big without that this will cost tremendous amount of millions of dollars, which we will never have. If we're coming up to a budget of a few tens of thousands of dollars, 10, 20, 50,000, or maybe 100,000 top, we can do wonders with this kind of money if we recruit the local system. So the idea that we do it adaptively with you, and this of course requires, it dictates that we bring ideas, but that we stay very open, because this has to be somewhat, Polish in nature. It may have some Israeli content, some of our ideas, some of our background and so forth, okay, but it has to be very Polish in order to qualify and be able to run it in a school in Poland without people asking too many questions. If you bring around a program that is sort of Israeli program, so you can run it maybe in a school for 1 hour or 2 hours in exposure, but you cannot study a whole year in a Polish school, on an Israeli program. It will never be acceptable. So what we're trying to do is to say, okay, here's our idea, and share it with you and help you adapt it locally such that it is usable, adaptable, agreeable to the system. And towards that, what we need to do going forward is to start to communicate, with the establishment, with the municipalities, with the schoolmasters, maybe with group of schools, with an arrangement like this, and then to think next year, of not of 4 schools, but maybe 20 schools, maybe 40 schools. In the beginning, Marianne thought, we can do all of Poland and go to 60 or 100 schools. Well, in the beginning, I thought this was too early because we needed to experience. But to work with 4 schools turned out to be excellent. So we had a lot of experience. We learned, but this is really the core. So you people are really the hardcore of what can now proliferate into Poland. And you will need to think about how to do it. We can do a teacher's training for teachers from Poland. We do, of course, most of it in English, but we can do part of it in Polish. You will translate, or other people. And so eventually, when things get better, we can maybe come over, or potentially invite some teachers to come over to Israel when travel will revive, maybe in a year time. But the idea is that, we need to work through the system, the Rotary, the education establishment, the teachers, the municipalities, the water utilities, water companies, work through the system. And also, one other thing that is an experience that we had that we can gladly share with you is that this is not an overnight business. This is something that will take time, and we have time. So we will grow, next year, and we will double next year. If we go through an exponential growth and we double or triple the amount of schools, and next year we have 12 or 15 schools, and a year later we have 45 schools, it's a nice rate. We can get to 100 schools in 2-3 years. So we're not in a hurry to try and get all the schools, right away. But we want to be on a plan where this can proliferate. And of course, as it grows, as we move forward, we start with water, but we will relate, more to the environment and to the way the challenge presents itself. We will stay on the same, area in general, and we will always want to make it relevant to the curricula. So some mathematics, some biology, some basic physics and chemistry, but do it with whatever is relevant locally now and in the future. And of course, things will change. You know, God forbid, if the global warming will stay at the same pace and will be that serious, then we may be in big trouble in 5 years. And we may have to start to address it, you know, in a serious manner. So this will change. The very notion of high teach was relating to the growth of knowledge and the change. So we need to be adaptive to that. And the way we do it in Poland will depend on you. So you are most welcome to contact with utilities and to have ideas as to how to do it in your different cities. And it was nice that we had more than just Lodz as we started initially. And tell us, you know, how you think we can promote it. And, you know, you can maybe even involve the youth, the children themselves, in thinking how this will develop. When you tell the students that they are part of a big revolution and that they can have an impact on the revolution, and so they take an active role now in determining their future right from now, that will excite them very much. And we really mean it seriously. We would listen to them. So we have a lot of ideas, you know, going forward, and that's what we need to pursue. Okay, I was talking for too long, so I'm giving a feedback to myself, but I kind of like the program. This is why.
Maybe we should give more schools the opportunity to say a few things about the program, to give us feedback. Anya, would you say a few words, Anya Rolak?
Sure, of course. Our school is the primary school in Konstantin, and we decided to involve all the students from classes 4 to 8. And I believe that the students really enjoyed the whole project, especially that in Poland we have this TV commercial about water footprint. At the moment, it's just quite new, quite fresh, and they could relate the topic to that, and they learned more, especially about the water footprint and about how they can reduce their water footprint and why it is so important. And we managed to we managed to do everything we planned. It was quite challenging because we're still online, right? We don't go to schools, and it was difficult to meet with students, right? To guide them in a way we would like to. I mean, you know, it's challenging because it's different when you talk to them face to face, and when you have more time to spend with them and to actually tell them how to prepare, how to present, for example. Because I talked to them, and their feedback later on was that the presentation was really stressful for them. So I believe they need more skills and more practice in that field. However, they are just teenagers. They're really young, and maybe their level of English is not so perfect. But they did that. It was a challenge, and they managed, right? We are still working on the project. We're going to do the second calculation in May, and we are going to work with our partnering school from Beersheva. They said that they really like the project and they would like to conduct the same project in their school. So we will continue with the project, and we will try to compare our results. And what else? Well, I have to say that our meetings here, online meetings before the whole graduation and before the project, I mean, your guidance was really very crucial for us, because we joined the project pretty late, and we as you said, we knew nothing, what to do, how to do it, and your guidance was really important, and it helped us with the project.
Okay, thank you. By the way, Anya, are you in touch with Amir? I mean, you're in touch with the school in Beersheba, right?
Well, not recently, not after the whole graduation, but you know, we had like Easter break, and
Yes.
we're coming back to school now, and,
Okay.
and yes, we're
So
going to.
if you need any help later on in contacting the
Mhm.
school, so first of all, you have the contact details of Amir and also
Mhm.
me. I will gladly assist you with contacting them and make sure that the collaboration with them works. Because we
Sure.
also we had holidays now, and then this period of time during the year is kind of fuzzy during the school year. So we want to make sure that everyone knows what they have to do. So if you have any difficulties in contacting them, let me know. What
Okay.
about
Thank you.
Instagram?
In Beersheba, they keep working, and they were very, very excited with the cooperation with you from Beersheba. In fact, so much so that after the first interaction, they wrote to us that they were very, very thrilled with it, and it was really an exhilarating experience for them. And she said, the label said that she is a 40-year science student, a science teacher, and this is the most exciting experience she ever had in her teaching years. So that was really very exciting for us to hear. And she wrote this right away after the first session with you. And she said, she even said, this was really very touching. She said that while thinking about it, she had tears in her eyes when she thought what impact it would have on their students. She foresaw the impact it would have, and it had that kind of an impact. The students were really very, very thrilled because it was the big experience for them. And their students, like your students, are very special students, and they don't have, too many. They're not lucky enough to have too many positive experiences in their life, in general. And so it was very emotional for her to think that she could bring such an experience with the support of the Rotary Club there. So I think it was a lovely experience for everybody. And it builds us, it gives us a lot of energy to go forward, because it is important to remember that what we're trying to do, we're trying to put it in a simplified manner, that you study in Poland and then you prepare some stuff and we connect you with the twinning and you share and you give some feedback and then you interact. So we tried to build some structure into this twinning idea, which I think was good because, it was, but we don't have all the answers. We are daring, we are starting something new. And by doing that, we will obviously make mistakes. This is when you make something new and you're daring and moving away from the standard norm, you are likely to make mistakes. And sometimes it's late, and especially when you run into a corona like this and so forth. But if you are brave enough to be willing to make mistakes, and obviously, most importantly, to listen, to have feedback, and to analyze it, and so to correct when you make a mistake, then you have the likelihood of improving and making something new. And we think that just this approach of innovation, willingness to risk potentially a failure, and to be able to listen and to analyze and feedback and correct if necessary, has educational value in itself, independent of the physics and the water and so forth. The world is changing at a very, very fast pace. And if you are willing to develop an attitude towards this change, which means that you're willing to do something new and experiment, then you're providing your students with a much better foundation going forward when they grow up, as opposed to if you just strictly by the book teach them the physics law and all that, and don't dare to move and so forth, and they become very strict and not necessarily daring. You want to make them brave. You want to encourage them to experiment, to try out things and so forth. So this is one value of the program that we're trying to convey. And if you adopt it and if you agree and you make it your way, you make this a message to the students as well. So if we tell them that we are changing education and the way we interact, and you invite them to come on board and to be innovative and to come up with idea, let the students bring in another school and other subjects and so forth, then you make them participate really. Yeah, go ahead.
Anya, do you have anything else that you want to share?
Well, I can just say we have prepared the whole plan for the next school year of the project, what we could do connected with Water Challenge. And I hope that it will be possible to actually to do at least half of it because of the corona, right? So most of the things we would like to do, unfortunately, involve students being at school. So we'll see. But yes, we definitely would like to continue with the project, and we believe that this education, water education, is crucial, and every person counts. If we can make a difference, even with one person, it counts.
Exactly. Thank you very much, Anya. I would like to hear another school. Who do we have next?
I think with Kasia.
Kasia.
Okay, now I may talk. So my school also joined the project a little bit late, and but it was a very valuable lesson for us, both teachers and students. I also teach in a primary school, so we work with younger students, and of course their English was a little bit problematic. They were shy and they didn't always want to talk in front of other people. And we learned a lot from this project. We know that we should organize our work better, divide tasks and responsibilities better to be more efficient. And what we know now is that we want to involve more students, also from younger classes, because in this project worked older students. And now we would like also to involve the younger ones. And also we are thinking about engaging more teachers too, also maths teachers and physics teacher. I don't know if you remember, but we concentrated on the issue of contaminating water with artificial fertilizers, and we would like to continue our research, and also we would like to concentrate on educating farmers in our area, how they can how they can stop using artificial fertilizers and form buffer zones, for example. Of course, we also would like to continue our cooperation and exchange of experience, because it was very valuable for us. And as I said before, we would like to continue the research in the area.
Okay. When you're talking about adding younger age groups, what age groups are we talking about?
We thought about 6th graders and 7th graders. So they are 12 years old, 13 and 14, the oldest.
Yes, perfectly fine from us. I mean, that's the age groups that we are dealing with in Israel as well. And the learning materials that we have, I think they are adequate. They are adapted to these age groups as well. Yes, and it sounds great, and it's really great to hear that beyond the research itself, there is a very spatial and a very meaningful involvement in the community, educating the farmers around you. That sounds like something with an impact to the students, that they can really change their surroundings. So I mean, great job. I really support it. I would also say, and that goes also for Anya from earlier and from the rest of you, I would just say that I know that the Corona time is very problematic, and it's really hard to go through a meaningful learning process through Zoom or through the computer. I would just say that we're working on it now, and we're trying to improve our learning methods, and we are working on preparing learning units for your use also for next year, including virtual tours that include a lot of physics and chemistry and biology. We're working right now on a virtual tour on a power planet that you can use in order to learn thermodynamics and physics and a lot. I mean, it's a very broad issue. And what we're planning is using these virtual tours in a power plant, in water utilities like desalination centers and reclamation centers in Israel, in order to enable us to build a lot of teaching and learning materials around these tours. And hopefully within the next few weeks or months, we will start the teacher training. And the purpose is that we are going to do a teacher training on these tours and these learning units, and you will be the ones creating it with your class. I mean, take the materials, use it for your own good, link it to your curricula, and I think it will be a very elegant and a very meaningful solution in the Corona time. It will be very fascinating for the students. It will enable also collaboration with Israeli students because they are doing the same thing in Israel. And I think that will be a very good way to keep on the collaboration in a Corona time where we are very limited in our actions and in our abilities to go out and see. But once the coronavirus will fade away, hopefully soon, even if you can go out and do these tours yourself, then we will be more than happy to help you plan a tour in a local facility and link it to your curricula as well. So what we're doing is basically building something that you can build upon and enriching your classes. Amnon, do you want to say anything about that and add anything?
I think you summarize it very well, and there's you have an active role in doing that. I would say that the technology, first of all, you can take video with a telephone and create some content, basic video, straightforward. So that's easy. And you can start creating some modules, and maybe it is not very successful first time, but don't worry. So you can easily do it. And even the 3D virtual reality movies are very easy relatively. The camera itself for this is not very expensive. It's something like, $200 or $250. $250 will get you the camera that allows you to take virtual tours in 360 degrees. So it's very affordable. And the software that is required for it is also very doable, and we can give you some guidance as to what to buy and what software to use and so forth, so you can create your own tour of a reclamation facility or of a challenge that you have maybe in the Wisla or other river, wherever. So this is number one, it's very, very feasible. And I want to share with you that we are making two plans that will be helpful, or three things really that are important. First of all, we took all the graduation event and we recorded it, of course, and we uploaded it to our new website that hosted the graduation event. This time, instead of a live session, we have it as a recorded session. So in the website, the HiTeach website, you can see the graduation event, and you can go into the rooms as if the event is going on right now. So it's important. And we will improve on it a little bit, but it's really available. So it is a tool for you to use at hiteach.com. So that's an important thing. Now, this website was designed in a hurry to support the story and the graduation event. You can see in it a lot of background about HiTeach, about other courses we did, which is available in English as well. We are going to build a new website for next year. It will take some time, but this will be more elaborate, and it will allow schools to register by themselves and to assign the schools and the names and the emails, all the process that we were doing manually in this meeting, we will mechanize them in the website. So if a school logs in and the schoolmaster approves and all that, we will know who it is, who is the school, who is the twinning school, what are the meeting times and everything. We will mechanize everything so it can flow nicely. And of course, all the activity in Poland, you will have an impact and a say about it, and be able to manage it, and run it, at least a Polish aspect of it. And so that is also in the making. Another thing that's in the making that you were not exposed to, I just want to share it with you so that you are aware of, what is available or what will be available. The program in Israel has been running for 16 years now. HiTeach is in existence for 21 years with many programs in energy and other areas, computers and so forth. But the water program is 16 years old, of which around 8 or 9 years now with the Rotary involvement. And it is supported in Israel by an e-learning system based on Moodle. Do you know Moodle? Are you exposed to the e-learning system? You know Moodle, obviously. So it is based on a Moodle system that we have, and it is enormous. We have about 250 chapters there and about 350 presentations. So there's a lot of material there. We only translated, the basics so that you can start, and you can start developing content quickly, and we will translate more, depending on how much budget we have and so forth, but we want to translate more and make it available. We also plan to upgrade our Moodle website because there is so much content there by now that it is very challenging to organize it and to make it available for teachers so they know what is available. There's so much on physics, so much on chemistry, and it's organized based on the system and so forth. It is a big challenge how to organize. So we have a big program in our mind as to how to make this available and readily usable for the students. So there's a lot of challenge in the central systems that we are building, but of course it will all depend on how you put it to work at the end. But the important thing is that you start to think in an innovative, entrepreneurial manner, and by all means, bring in your spirit, your feeling, your emphasis, your pieces of content, your age group, your practices, so it is suitable for Poland. It needs to address you. And maybe it is different in Warsaw than it is in Lodz and what have you, by all means. So give us all these flavors and you can develop it and we will help you. And so it will be such a joint effort where we eventually have a derivative of the program that's suitable for Poland. And we will do the same with Romania and everything else and so forth. And eventually, of course, we will allow interaction with all these groups. We don't intend to make this central, around us so that we control everything. We just want to help build it gradually because we know it is very, very complex. If we make a big mistake, then you will be disappointed, everyone, and we don't want to do that. So we will progress, we will make change, but we will make it in a very adaptive manner, and we will be listening to you. So whatever you feel is the right way, you can form a group, that will form a leading idea. And Marianne, of course, will lead it, or you can have more others and Rotarians and so forth in the group. But by all means, stay active and tell us what you think, because we want to listen and we want to make it, ready for you. In fact, what is happening with learning, Romanians were first, you came in second and others, but your contribution is very important. We're listening to you because we want to know how to do it. So you are our partners in that respect, and we will see. Yeah.
Yes, if I may say something, because you are talking about the future, and I have a feeling that we didn't close the last project. It's nice for the kids when we tell them you did good job, everything, but they would like to show something to their peers, to their teachers, to the school principal, which would be very nice if they could get some kind of certificate of recognition, you know, that
Of course.
this and that
Of course.
kid part in the project and did great.
Of course. I failed to mention. You are absolutely right. And we have prepared a certification of participate for the schools, and in English, and it is suitable. And we just finished it yesterday, and we will send you, of course, that, and it will be free for, you know, we will send it to Marianne, and you can centrally manage it. And then it will have a place for the school name and so forth. And it describes the program, everything you did, and a certificate of participation in the pilot of the first year with recognition of everything you did. And it will also have room for a local logo. So in addition to the program logo and all that, you can make it, you know, Polish and so forth. Of course, you are absolutely right. And we prepare that, and we have a draft. We are approving it, and we will send it to you. By all means, you are absolutely right.
We have more teachers here that haven't spoken yet, and I would like to hear them as well. So do we have anybody else who would like to raise issues or say anything?
From lots we have from special school. Maybe that Małgorzata would like to say something.
Yes, I say a few words. We are a special school and educational center. We are very happy to participate in this project. What we saw from other schools enrich our knowledge. We joined late, so production is still ongoing. We will develop our work. We will set up a garden with vegetables and herbs, and we supply rainwater. The pond will become an element of our sensory garden for our intellectual disability students. Students will make bird boxes and small garden architectures. It was a very interesting experience for our teachers and our students, because it was our first time that we will in this project.
Thank you very much.
You should be aware that our students are a really special one. Every student is special, but our students are double special, because, you know, they have intellectual disability, and the level of their disability, I mean moderate, severe, profound, forces us to support them in a way absolutely more than in regular schools. So our involvement in the future is based on mainly on our activities. Of course, they are engaged in many activities, and they enjoy a lot. But depends on their abilities. The range of our achievements is, of course, must be adapted to their functioning. So the future depends on you know, what is feasible in our case. But anyway, as Małgorzata told you, it was a really great experience for not only for children. They really enjoyed the participation, but also for teachers, and, for example, small things like, you know, making short movie. It was great opportunity to you know, to cooperate even more than on today basis, everyday basis. So
I think that in your case, and especially in your case, the collaboration with the Israeli teachers, with your Israeli counterparts that are also working with special ed students, could be very fertile. And I think that's what we did, right? Because the students didn't present themselves and we didn't meet with each other. But if I remember correctly, you met with the Israeli teachers from a special ed school, right?
Not no, we participated only for 2 months, the last 2 months of the project, and we only managed to start some things in the project. So we didn't have a lot of opportunities to cooperate with other schools,
Okay.
including Israeli one.
So I believe, but I believe that the right way to take it
Yes,
is organize a project in which you can learn from Israeli teachers and they could learn from you and support each other. And because you're right, most of the work would be on your side as teachers, because you would have to help the special ed students in a more profound way, I guess. So the collaboration could be even more fertile in this manner with another special ed school in Israel. And
Yes,
we are working with special ed schools in Israel and specifically on gardens, on hydroponic gardens. So this collaboration could be wonderful, I think.
we are very open for future cooperation and then to learning from your experience and making some maybe some inputs based on our experience and specificity of our work. So
we will make sure to make the link between these schools. I think it will be beneficial for all sides. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Do we have anybody else who haven't spoken yet?
Ram, I will share a screen in a minute just to give a feel of the certificate draft that we have. Of course, it is not final, and we send it to you. We have some comments and so forth, but just to give you a feel of where this is. Hold on a minute, just 1 second. So this is what we are planning, so you see it will have, can you see the screen?
Yes.
Okay, so it will have the school name here that you can fill in, and we have the logo of Rotary Hands Across Water and Heritage, and this is Rotary Hands Across Water School Twinning Pilot Certificate of Participation in this year, and here it will tell the story about the program and so forth, and what you did, and what was unique about the program this year, and so forth. So this, as you see, is in the making, and we will send it to you, and you can print it there and fill in the names and so forth. And so we did this for the school. And now you can make a derivative of this for every teacher or for the students. You know, this is, by all means, you can do that, but we will certainly have a certificate for the schools participation. I think we have more. It would be lovely, but I think it would be good to ask Shlomo to say a few words. Shlomo, can you make a comment? Maybe not in English, maybe in Polish, or at least say something. Everything is because of you. תפתח את המיקרופון. Shlomo, open up your microphone.
Włącz mikrofon, Shlomo. Shlomo, włącz mikrofon. Unmute. Po lewej stronie ekranu na dole. Mikrofonik masz przekreślony. Po lewej stronie ekranu mikrofon jest przekreślony, trzeba go nacisnąć. Albo na twoim obrazku. Też możesz. Na górze samym. Tam, gdzie jest to niebieskie. Też nie masz.
למטה, שלמה, למטה בצד שמאל יש מיקרופון. למטה בצד שמאל יש מיקרופון, יש עליו קו. תבטל את הקו האדום. אוקיי, עכשיו אתה יכול לדבר.
Ram, maybe you can unmute him.
No, I can't. I can only ask him to do so.
Oh,
I have a small problem now. Okay. To, co się powiedziało tutaj, to rozumiałem, że się rozszerzyć pracę pomiędzy szkołami i to w ogóle to jest dobry pomysł, bo to był początkowy pomysł, tak jak myśmy weszli do tego projektu, żeby czym więcej szkół weszło do tego projektu, bo to jest bardzo ważne dla Polski i dla młodzieży, bo żeby nie myśleli, że jak się otwiera kran, to wychodzi woda, to jest z nieba, żeby wiedzieli, jak to pracuje i co można zrobić. Dzisiaj na przykład można, nie owoce, ale zielonkość można też, jak to się mówi, żeby rosło, tak? Rosło bez gramu ziemi. I są jeszcze inne rzeczy do tego. Można zrobić ogrodek w klasie. I to, co potrzebuje młodzież wiedzieć, bo dzisiaj świat się zmienia na te rzeczy. אני אתרגם לך אחר כך מה אמרתי.
בסדר.
Okay. If we have, do we have more comments? Anyone wants to make another comment? Okay, good. So we spent an hour, but yes.
I want to tell something now. Dodać. My pracujemy bardzo ładnie z Jerzym Korczyńskim. Ja życzę, żeby na przyszły rok, przy skończeniu epidemii, żeby więcej szkół weszło do tego projektu, bo to jest bardzo ważne dla Polski. My mamy tą wiedzę, także my rozszerzamy to na świecie. Jerzy, jak to, co teraz powiem, Jerzy, to zrozumie, o co powiem. 7. zadanie Rotary to jest woda i sanitacja. I dlatego się to rozszerzyło na świecie. I dziennie to się rozszerza. Poprzez to około 6000 dzieci umiera dziennie, bo nie mają czystą wody do picia i woda nie dochodzi do mieszkań. I to jest nasza, to co wzięliśmy, Rotary wziął to pod sobą, żeby to czym więcej się rozszerzyło na świecie. Dziękuję bardzo. Dobry wieczór. Bye.
Thank you very much, Shlomo.
Okay.
Thank you very much, everybody, for participating.
Ram, I would like to conclude, if I may, by thanking, of course, everybody, and of course, Professor Korczynski, the leader, and Shlomo for their contribution, and all of you for participating. And I would like to mention that, this today is the Israeli Holocaust Memorial Day. And so we're all immersed in this memory. And this is lovely to be working together, with people in Poland, with a hope for the future, working together for a better world, for a safer world. And it's a lovely experience. I think it is very emotional that we do it. And I hope we stay successful and continue next year. And it was very, very nice to listen to you all and to see your commitment. And together we will make it happen. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. We will be in touch, of course, in groups and generally everyone as well on our meetings in the future.
Very good. Thank you very much. Good night.
Thank you very much. Goodbye.
Thank you.